I mean, I've been laughing throughout that entire, and it's just a promo. It's just a couple of seconds of what we can expect. I've got the three phenomenal human beings on my screen right now. Very good morning to all of you. Let's start with Rethabile, who is the cook, as Desmond Dube calls her, the chef that's put all of this together. Rethabile, I mean, it's, a comedy that is so close to the real South African experience of Christmas. How easy was it to actually get, the actors to relate to this amazing series?
Well, firstly, good morning, and thank you for having us on the show. We're excited to talk about How to Ruin Christmas, the funeral. I think after season one, when we write, we don't think of like, oh, we're definitely going to cast Yonder Thomas, or this role is definitely for Desmond Dube. Yeah, I know, they're shocked. They're like, what? When we wrote the series, we just wrote these characters that we could relate to and see in our family. And it was like, everyone has that uncle. Everyone has the Christian aunt or the mother, or, so we were like taking things and tropes from our families. And when we eventually cast the series and these wonderful actors came through and killed each role and almost took over, writing season 2, it was like a breeze, because now you even know who the faces are and they'll embody that. And I think from the minute we had the script read to hear it, I was like, wow. And I think they relate because as I said, we all can see these people in our family. We know who they are. So we're able to take little pieces of them, and their job is to bring them to life in ways that I didn't even think was possible. So yeah, kudos to them.
I mean, Yonder, it's as if this role was written with you in mind, and of course, Rethabile says the opposite, but we'll choose to ignore that fact. The fact that the fact that you play this role and you play it so effortlessly. I mean, it seems like you're really a good guy who just seems to get in trouble because you go for, should I say, the wrong girls. How close to your personal experience is the character that you play?
Not really. I mean, especially in the second season of How to Ruin Christmas, the funeral. I don't think he's that close. I mean, he does a very huge adjustment in his life that even I at times was like, I mean, maybe I wouldn't adjust it this way. So I think Ukaya, is not really, I wouldn't say we're really close, but like Rethabile said, there are things that I can take from my own personal experience, people I've seen. And there's always that guy in the family. He always dresses nice. He always drives a nice car. He always has the good looking girls. And so I took a little bit of pieces from people that I've seen, that do the same thing. And I think, Rethabile actually said Brent Onion did the things and with the pots, and they put it all together so beautifully that it can translate in such a way that it looks effortless. But I believe me, there was a lot of effort put into that. I can remember having conversations with Rethabile, and she's going, he's like this, and I'm like, I don't really get it. I don't really know what to do with him. It might look effortless. I think credit to the writers from Burnt Onion, Netflix, and the Rethabile and all the work that she put in to make it come across that way. So yeah.
It seems like, Rethabile, you hit the nail on the head there. Desmond, you are, a legend in the game. You've been in this industry for decades. But
I don't think that's a compliment. For decades. And Ubuntu just presses on that one. Just decades.
Okay, you've been in the industry for an undisclosed amount of time. Let's leave that there. But talk to me about what you found on set. And you come in, you're playing Uncle Shadrach, but of course you've seen plenty of productions. Talk to me about this production in particular. What stood out for you?
Well, I think Rethabile sort of mentioned it in the beginning. I think the first season was sort of like a pilot where we're all trying to sort of honestly represent these characters. And I think when we got to the second season, we kind of knew the nuances of each character. We knew how, who walks, how they would respond. Actually, watching the series last night, for me, I could even tell where the actors had added a little bit of spice. I could tell because they know the characters that well. And I think that's the blessing. The blessing is, understanding who the characters are, and also I think the writers just knew who to write for, and it made a huge difference. I mean, if you watch the series, you'll see that there's there are comedy moments, and then there are story moments, and that is so clear. What Rethabile didn't tell you is that she also directed, I think, one or two of these episodes, and it was also just amazing hearing like a different voice. And when I say different voice, I also mean in terms of gender. Just listening to how she sees the story, and that was very interesting. But generally, I think we just loved every moment. We enjoyed it. We worked under very strict COVID protocols, but we made it happen. We had a lot of fun.
I mean, it's amazing to watch Retabile's growth as well. I mean, we've a lot of us have been fans for a very long time. Now, unfortunately, our viewers can't see the chemistry that's happening as you guys are speaking. People are nodding and making all sorts of funny faces, especially Yonda. Desmond, I want to stick with you quickly. You and Ramitshwene have a phenomenal on-screen chemistry. As a matter of fact, the chemistry within the entire series is amazing. But you and Ramitshwene seems like that chemistry relates off-screen. Is that the case?
This is very interesting now, because let's go back to the first season. So the first season, the whole cast, Netflix put the entire cast and crew in one building. You must remember that we shot the first season just a little bit of that hard lockdown that we had in 2020. So we all lived in the same space, and you have no idea how much, as far as I'm concerned, how much that has helped, the series itself, the relationships, and so on. So Rami, Clementine, and everyone who was sort of related, sort of lived on one wing, if you know what I mean. Like Abotando, we all were in the same wing. So I always felt like, even as Desmond Dube, I was always surrounded by these women who I now see as my sisters. And that comes through. Once the cameras come on, you can tell that these people know each other. They know each other's flaws, and so on. And that makes for great comedy, I guess.
Yeah, I want to just jump in here. Sorry to jump in here. And you noticed the shift. So after season 1, and we saw how everyone played, we actually were like, Grace and Shadrach need more time to play some more and cause some more chaos, because we saw how that chemistry works. So this season, we're like, okay, well, what can this brother and sister duo do that is going to cause even more chaos? And that's what I love about the stories. Like, there's actually a lot going on. It's like a lot of characters and a lot of pockets. But it's so easy to follow. Well, I hope it's so easy to follow. And I think it's because these actors just like owned it, and they have the chemistry. We really are like a family. I was saying we disagree even off screen like a family. But when we say action on set, it's like go time and everyone's ready to play.
That's amazing. That really does translate. Yonda, yazi shame utumi wabantu, or should I say ubusi wabantu, she's always in the chaos, and you're always coming to her rescue. Let's just talk about that on-screen, chemistry, the romance that you guys have, and how easy it is for you and her to just get it right the way you do.
Yeah. I think a lot of it, like Kubra Desmond has already said, credit to Netflix for putting us under quarantine after the quarantine we went through in South Africa. So they put us in one place. And so the opportunity that you get that you would otherwise not get is that when you go home, you're going home next door to the person you're going to be working with tomorrow in the scene. Yeah. So what happens usually is you just go, dude, you just work this scene, like for tomorrow. Can we look at the script? What can we do? What can we play with? What can we create? And I always say that you can, like if you have to fake everything else, you can fake it, but you can never fake chemistry. So the chemistry had to be real. So I think us being in such close proximity and working together so closely with the script and trying to work even after hours, I think that's what built the chemistry. So by the time that we got on camera, it was so easy. It was so natural. So there was, synergy. And I think the way it was directed as well, I mean, moving from the first season to How to Ruin Christmas, the funeral, I think we just carried that energy into it. And the writers as well, I feel that they took that energy that they saw from the first season and put it into this one. And it just came off the page when we read it, and we were back right where we started. So I think what made it easier was that, and also with the writing and the directors, Ritabile. I mean, it was amazing. So yeah, I think that's what made it easy, being in the same spot, because usually you go home and you read the script alone and you're like, I think this is what I'll do here and this is how she'll respond. And then, but by the time we got on screen, because we spent so much time together, it was so effortless, if I could say that.
That's phenomenal, man. Desmond Dube calling Ritabile the chef, but he's holding the entire breakfast platter by himself. But Desmond, we'll come back to that. You can dig in so long. Ritabile, where are the rest of the episodes? We want 13 episodes. Why are you just giving us a handful?
Please, Ritabile, where are the episodes?
Where are the episodes, Ritabile?
Where are the episodes? Yo, you guys, you put us under pressure. Do you know?
Yeah, this is too much pressure.
By December is crazy. But, I mean, hopefully Netflix is watching. Hello, Netflix. Season 3, maybe, yes.
Phenomenal. Guys, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out for that, just to talk to us this morning. Those are the just three of the members of How to Ruin Christmas, the Funeral. The executive producer, Ritabile Ramaphakela, actors Yonda Thomas and Desmond Dube. Now, if you enjoyed this interview, just imagine how the series is. And I do implore you to go and watch it. It is already streaming on Netflix. One of, great creations by South African talent, no doubt. Up next, we'll